All right, let's see here. Looks like I'm live now. Anybody there with me tonight? Let's check here real quick. Looks like it says I got a couple people. So, hi guys. Let's get to this tonight. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be going over how a store orders comic books. And as most people know, I do work at a local game store or a local comic store. And I'm not going to say which one because I don't want to dox myself with the store. But I guess we'll get to it. Let me know if my mic has problems or anything like that. So, first thing is Previews Magazine. Previews Magazine comes once a month. It has all the comic books that will be coming out in the next few months, plus games and toys and stuff like that. This is the source we use to figure out what's coming out over the next few months for our customers. And we have to use this on a monthly basis to order comics at the end of the month. So it comes in a couple parts. So there's the main book here. It has some fluff at the beginning, before it gets into all the comics and stuff, like our reviews, what do we think, certain stores. There's advertisements all the way throughout because it's just one big ad pretty much. We have the DC previews, which is a separate book that's just for DC books. And we have one for Marvel. Because they have so many books apiece, they do it in separate, each from separate from the main book now. The third part is the retail order form. So this is how you can manually order comics at the end, and I'll go over that here in a minute. And then I'll get some screenshots of how we do it through the register. So, but let's begin. So this is the main book of previews. Like I said, this is for October, so this is current. And how I do it for my store is, you kind of have to know what your customers are going to be like, or what your customers are like, what they want in your area, stuff like that. Because times are tough right now. You got to be careful what you order for the shelf. With all the political back stuff that's going back and forth, and the hatred between people and groups and stuff like that. Some books are going to sell, some are not. So we have to be kind of careful in what we order. So let's just jump right to it real quick. I'll kind of show you what it's like through the book. Each section here on the side, it's color coded, is a different company. So right now this is Image. And so the first thing is it'll show you what books are coming out, in what order they want to show it to you. The companies decide these. And then sometimes they'll put previews in here. They will put different, so you can see the previews of comics. They'll put the different variant covers, things like that. So that way you can get a sense of what the book is going to be about. They also offer who the writer, artist, this is the alternate cover artist, a quick description of the series, when it's coming out. So this will be December 5th that week. This will be 40 pages, mature rating, $3.99. So that is the retail price for the book. So it gives you all the basic info right here, what you need to kind of figure out what the book is going to be about. And this is how we have to order comics for the shelf. So we have to go through this book and kind of see what we think is going to be hot, what's not going to be, because we can't return books. So what we order is what we got to keep. So now what I do, sorry if I'm having little allergies and stuff, and so my throat is not the best today. Never really is, though. But what I will do is I will put check marks by books I want to try or that I know certain customers are going to like. I also do it with local artists. Okay, excuse me again, I'm back. So I will do it with local artists. So like this one, I'm probably going to get a couple of these because this is a fantasy book. We have a lot of D&D players at our shop, things like that. So, and it seemed quite interesting. I read a couple pages here. And then an email. We get emails, I forgot to tell you. We get emails sometimes from the different companies and the different distributors, sometimes showcasing certain books. And sometimes we'll get full access to the full comic 2 months ahead of time, or even a month. And then we can make decisions on. So this is what's called the initial order. So we go through this and we'll create an initial order. But we can adjust it later about 1 month out. So like this, I will get a couple of these for the shelf, see what it's like. Seems pretty nice because I got a lot of fantasy players in my shop. Prodigy right here doesn't really interest me too much. Action Adventure, 32 pages, $3.99, December 5th. It's a 6-part series. Of course, what I do also is I take pictures of the major titles that are coming out, and I throw them in a Facebook group for my store, and then they'll reply back to me, my hold customers, and say, hey, I want that book, throw me on the hold. And so I'll do that. Freeze here. I got a preview of this when I was at Long Beach Comic Con. They hooked me up over there. And Phil Sebby's a local artist, so I will order that one for the shelf for sure because he always comes in the shop. Hardcore looks interesting, so I put a check mark on it. But basically what I'll do is I will go through here and check what I think is good for the shop. Doug TenNaples' book, I'm definitely going to be ordering that again for the shelf. And also I'll pick things that I think are good and then do it. And then customers can always come into the store, pick what they want through the book, and we'll add it to their holds. But anyway, so what's interesting though is as you go through here, the bigger companies all feature their own sections. So like this is now Dark Horse, of course Hellboy, BPRD. You can tell the different titles and stuff here. But they all have their own sections. And as you go through here, like that's going to be a good book. The art books. They also have these pages too, which are trades or omnibuses that they're offering again. And you can go through and see what you want. There's so many. There are sometimes it just gets overwhelming. There's so much stuff to be offered. So you kind of have to be tight with your money on what's coming out. I do like this too. So this is DC comic releases. They're going to tell you what week it's coming out, what issues are coming out. A lot of customers do like to photocopy these and use them for their own personal holds to make sure they get what they want. There's also online apps you can use, things of that nature. There's also, like, this is IDW right here. Gems of the month are basically just paid spotlights. So it's not that, it's not great. It's not great. They're just, you got to realize that they're paid. So they'll put that on there and make you, or try to get you to think it's going to be a great book. It might not be, though. You just don't know. But you kind of got to base what you're going to get off the shelf based on the descriptions below. There's not a lot of info on what you're going to get in previews for the different books. But we have to use these every month to help us order at the shops for comics. So I want to get back here, though, before we go into the bigger, like DC and Marvel, stuff like that. If we go back here to the indie books. So the indie books is where it gets real hard to get noticed, because you're such a small space in the previews book to show off what you got. Like, if you're not a big company, you can't afford those ads and section by section, things like that. So you gotta get these little spotlights here. Like, this is alternative section right here. This is a perfect example. They only have like 6 books coming out. They just get a little blurb, and it tells you what it's going to be retail, and that's it. Like, that is all the info we get when we have to order comics for the shelf. And with so many comics coming out, so many covers, we have to kind of hedge our bets on what we're going to get. Like, it's extremely difficult to get this right every week. I know there's some shops who are big enough where they can just order everything. And they can, just order one of everything at least, and they'll just update their holds, add their holds to the list, and they'll get, 10 more of this issue, 15 more of this issue, or etc., just to cover their holds, But there's so many things to offer, so many reprints, so many independent books. It's kind of crazy. Like, this is just the book section. This is not, some of these are graphic novels, some of these are regular books, some are comics. It's just all kind of merged in here. And it's put in there, it is put in there alphabetically by the company. So that does help when it gets to the smaller sections. But it is not by any means the best way to do it. So you have to buy an ad pretty much to get yourself noticed in previews. Otherwise, there's just so much stuff to look over. It's not that great. But if you're one of the big boys, you will get one of these sections here. So, like, this is the Marvel one. And this is every book Marvel has coming out. There's like, I want to say 100 books a month. Somewhere around there. It could be 80-something right now. But, like, the New Defenders is starting. The artwork looks great right here. I actually like this artwork. I just don't know about the storylines. A lot of Marvel stories have been really hit or miss. Venom's been doing great, but just depends. Spider-Geddon flew off the shelf. Infinity Wars, I'm not a fan of it. But this is like, see, like, there's issue 4, 5, 6, and 7, with what, 4 covers each? 4 covers, 2 covers, 2 covers, 3 covers, and then 2 covers. So there's like a crap ton of covers from Marvel books, and trying to get them all is a pain in the butt. Because how they do it, a lot of them, some of them are 1-to-1 ratios, so you can order 1 cover. If you order an A, you can order a B. But they do also do like 5-to-1, 10-to-1, 25-to-1, and 50-to-1, and so on. So you have to order, 20 books to get one copy for your shelf, or one special copy for a customer or something like that. Customers can request all variants in the system when you set up a hold, and but they're not going to be guaranteed to get every variant that they have. Like, it'll be close, but not all the time. The super hard variants are going to be really hard to do to get those in. But this is just Marvel right here. DC has the same thing. DC, this is going to be a good book. We're definitely going to get this for the shelf. Scott Snyder's writing it. Art and cover by Jacques. Dude, this will sell like crazy at our store. So we're definitely going to be ordering a bunch of those. Batman the Outsiders, probably not so much. Freedom Fighters, not so much. Goddess Mode, I have no idea. Martian Manhunter, we definitely have some interest in that book for sure. Talent Showcase, I don't know. We'll see. But nobody's been requesting it so far. So, but this is what we get to look through every month to determine what we're going to buy. And sometimes there's some good information here, sometimes there's not. One good thing is a lot of the times on the books here, it'll put, let me go back to another one back here. Maybe it'll usually say where it is at in a series. So sometimes in the description here, they'll put, this is part 1 of 5, or this is a part 2 of 5 or 3. So if we know part 1 sold well, but we see part 2 sold only like half of them are copies, it helps us indicate how many we should pick up at the shelf, how many are on holds. Kind of gives us an idea of what we need to buy. But I see this kind of going away right now. So this is only DC's like second time, second or third time putting out the section, I think, on their own. They haven't been doing it too long. So, but this is what we got to go through every month. And we need to go through this many times to really understand what's coming out for our customers, what covers are going to be coming out, what to really answer the questions for, as a shop. Hey, I saw this was coming out again. Ben's bringing to the trade. So can you put me down for a copy? Yeah, no problem. We'll put it down there. And we also use this, to fill holes in our shelves. So, when they print trades, they print them in a big bundle, and then they sell them slowly throughout the months. And then they'll be out of stock for a while, and they print them again, and then they bring them back in stock. So we have to fill our shelves with trades, and you actually make more money with trades than you do with comics, just because there's a better margin there. But so these are the three pieces we use for just to look at what's coming out. The other fourth piece here is this is the manual order form. So you can either fax this in, you can copy it, you can email it in. There's a bunch of different ways to do it. I'll show you a screenshot here of the digital order form. But basically, you'll come in here and you fill out your information, the account numbers, and then starting here, it has Image Comics, page 40. It goes line by line, comic by comic, cover by cover. And you need to go through this and double check your orders through previews to make sure you got what you want. The old way of doing this, well, horrible. Absolutely horrible, because they used to have to do this back in the 90s and 80s and stuff like that to get your comics, so you had to make sure you cover your holds and get everything like this. But there's still some shops that do this. Boggles my mind. I don't know why you do it, but you do get some good information here. So you get estimated ship date, and FOC date. FOC date is what's called final order cutoff. And on final order cutoff, that's where you can make adjustments to how many books you're going to get in your store. So say I did a rough order of, let's see, die number 1 here. I ordered 10 copies for the shelf. Well, as people saw it, they really, really wanted it. I got 15 holds for it. So I'm going to up that number instead of 10 to 15, and then I'm going to maybe put 1 or 2 on for the shelf or whatever. And so the FOC will come out for that on November 12th, roughly a month before it comes out. So I will do that all the way through. But you can see all the different covers that are coming out. Look at this. Bitterroot right here. Bitterroot. There's number 2. There's 4 covers for Bitterroot. There's so many different covers. It puts them all here so you can try to get enough. It will say under here, there's like a little itty bitty line. I know you probably can't see that really well, but it says like there is no minimum purchase for this number 60 variant, right? But some of the covers will have a minimum purchase. And let me see if I can find one for you. Usually they're definitely in Marvel. That's IDW. Namor. Here we go. Marvel. Defenders. Yep. Here we go. Defenders. Omega. Can you see that right there? One variant for every 200 comics purchased. 200 freaking books. Like, we have to order 200 of those for the shelf or holds in any combination thereof between our stores. And we have 4 stores, by the way. Sometimes we get those. Sometimes we don't. But it's insane on why you have to do it. This is why some variant covers go for a ton of money. I think it's stupid, where they have to have so many variants for a book. Anyway, so you will go through this, you will fill it out, and then you will then fax this or email this, or I think you can actually mail this back off to them to send it to your account person over there, and they will put this all in and order your books. Now, the other way you can do it is, let me switch screens here really quick. I'm going to go to screen share. So let me make sure this is coming up. Yeah, so should be coming up. Anyway, so this is screen share. So this is what Comic Suite looks like. This is just from their demo video. This is how we do the order. You'll say what previews number it is. So this one's going to be 361, October 2018. Origin date, or when they started taking the orders from, when it gets shipped out. And it'll go down every title in the book. Then you just put in your quantity here. It'll verify the number you want, the price it's going to be, and then our cost for that book. And then this is what we can use to look up how many we ordered before, how many for subs or subscription holds, how many are for back issues, and how many on the rack. So we can kind of keep track of that, for inventory purposes, how many we have. They'll say a number of unsold copies there too. Also, you can go week by week and see. You can also hit the cycle view and go to subs, and then you can get more information on there. The other thing you can do, let me pull up a hold. They have a hold screen up here too. That back a little farther. There it is. Nope. Actually, there it is. So a customer hold would look like this, where it says the name of the customer, information, balance on what they owed, things like this. They'll say what books they're getting. You put a start issue, so say they're coming in the middle of a series. Let's say Batman number 5, you do start at number 5. If you have ended 0, it means it's going to be ongoing. They only want like a certain series, like Deathstroke versus Batman right now. It's like 6 parts. You'll put like Deathstroke 31, I believe, to 37, depending on what the run goes through. So that we can get just those issues. And then if they want variants, you just check these, and they'll get all variants that will come out with it that aren't incentive variants. So like, 10 to 1, 20 to 1, 100 to 1, things like that. So usually, though, if I get those, I'll get them to a customer, so they can, usually they're pretty happy about that. So These are just more things you can do with Comic Suite. This is from a demo video that they have on YouTube by Diamond. So it's RMS Comic Suite Diamond tutorial. So you can take a look at this. This program is such a mess. Like if you try to try to get this to work out right, you're lucky if it works right every week. There's always something wrong with it. There's always, because how many comics that come out, the numbers are always wrong. The what do you call it? The what do you call it? Order numbers. So they have these little order numbers on the inside. These will all get mixed up sometimes, or even the barcodes. When you get the barcodes on the back of comics, they will be wrong, or they'll be doubles, or things like that. Sometimes the companies will use the same barcodes on the same comics, and like 6 months apart. So you have to change it in your system or something like that. And then trying to get tech support is a pain in the butt too from Diamond. They're not very good at calling back one pretty quick. So, but this is just to give you an idea of what it's like to order comics at a shop. If anybody has any questions, hit me up on Twitter. It's just Pencil for Life. I know this isn't the most exciting video in the world today, but I had some people ask me about it. If you do have any, like I said, any questions, hit me up. If you have any comments, hit me up. I'll be happy to reply to them. Anyways, thanks. Have a good day, and God bless.